Everybody, Holly here from HolliDay AnyDay. And since the holidays are approaching, I thought it might be nice to do a nice holiday side dish. It's a stuffing dish that it amazes me that we only do this at the holiday time of year because it's so yummy. So we're gonna try this today. I wanna share it with you. For years and years and years, I made a stuffing out of the Silver Palate cookbook that was a Grand Marnier and apricot stuffing. And then Giada de Laurentiis' Ciabatta stuffing came along. I thought, well, that's pretty tasty. So I combined the two together and added a few little tweaks of my own. So what I'm gonna show you today is how we're gonna do that. Right here, I've got our ciabatta bread that I've cut into cubes and dried up overnight. We've got some celery, some carrots, some onions, some Italian parsley, some Parmesan cheese, rosemary, almonds, apricots that are plumpy and Grand Marnier, and a little garlic, little rosemary, little beaten egg, and a little chicken stock. And I have made this vegetarian before, and we just use vegetable stock, and that works really well. But I'm also going to put into this version some hot Italian sausage, turkey Italian sausage, which of course if you're gonna do vegetarian, just leave that out. So let's go over to the stove and we'll get that going. Okay, I've got about 8 ounces of spicy Italian sausage, turkey Italian sausage. I wouldn't necessarily go with the sweet because you've got the apricots in here and the Grand Marnier, and I think that might be too sweet. You could go with non-spicy if that works better for you, but there's only 8 ounces, so it's not a ton. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break this down till it's cooked, which it's real close. Okay, it's just been a few minutes and we've got all the meat all nice and crumbly. So what we want to do, because we don't want to lose that yummy fat down there on the bottom, is grab a slotted spoon and pull it out. Okay, so we're going to pull that out, set them aside, and go right there. Let's add a little bit of olive oil. Okay. Then we're going to add in our aromatics. And what that will be is going to be, let me turn them back on here, carrots and celery, onions, quite a bit of onions actually, a little chopped garlic. Remember, this does have the Giada influence. And some fresh chopped rosemary. Now we're gonna just saute this till the vegetables get pretty darn soft. Probably, you know, a good 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, this guy's been sauteing for about 10-12 minutes and it's smelling heavenly. That rosemary is really coming out. Really different. You know, usually we're used to sage in our Thanksgiving dressings and stuffings, but the rosemary is just nice, different, just a different deal. So, okay, let me take this off and now we're gonna go and combine this with everything else. Okay, so my vegetables have been cooling just a little bit because I don't want to pop them in here when they're too hot because we've got eggs going in and we wouldn't want to cook the eggs. So we've got our bread cubes and I like to cut them a little small just because, you know, you don't want them falling off your fork. They need to be eatable or biteable, shall we say. So let's go ahead and throw these guys in here. This smells so good. They're still a little warm and that's fine. Okay, that's that. So to this, let's go ahead. I think hands are gonna have to help on this one. Let's add our Italian sausage. Let's add Parmesan cheese. Let's add some slivered almonds. And let's add some Italian parsley. Okay. I could have a larger bowl. Sometimes I do this in 2 separate bowls, but let's see if we can make this work. I think I'm gonna have to take off my ring and use my hands, but let's try and see what we can get, if we can get it combined, because there's more that's going in here. I'm gonna go ahead and add, now this is our Grand Marnier, this is all Grand Marnier, and the plumped apricots. And actually that ends up replacing some of the chicken broth you normally would put in stuffing. So we can get everything softened a little. It'll end up taking a little less space in our bowl. Like I said, I don't know why we don't make this year round. I never think about it, and it's so yummy. I look forward to it every year. Okay, let's get that going. Okay, let's give it a little bit of our broth, because that's gonna make it a little easier to mix up. And while we're at it, why don't we give it a bit of salt? So you see, the recipe's real easy. There's just a lot of components. But it's basically just dump everything in a bowl, mix it up, and there you go. I'll go ahead and give it a little more broth. It usually takes a couple of cups of broth. And now it's gonna make it actually come together a little bit better, because the cubes get softer. I like this with ciabatta bread. You could totally use French bread, that would be fine. Probably even good with cornbread, it'd just be a little bit sweeter. Okay, let's give this a little toss. Like I said, a bigger bowl would probably be a better plan, but we're gonna use what we got. Okay, it's coming together. It smells heavenly. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add my beaten eggs. I've got a couple beaten eggs just to help it all bind together. Okay. Like I said, don't be afraid to get your hands in here and get a little messy with it. Okay, I'm just gonna add the rest of this broth. It's about 2.5 cups was our total on that. Like I was saying, if you wanted to make it vegetarian, you could just omit the sausage and use vegetable stock. And I did that many, many, many years in a row because my stepmom's a vegetarian. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now we're just gonna put it in a casserole and we're gonna bake it for about 45 minutes. Clean up our mess here on our counter. I just sprayed this with cooking spray, and let's go ahead and get this in here. This is gonna be a very heavy bowl, so we'll help ourselves a little bit. This is so pretty with these, between the carrots and the apricots. It's got such beautiful color. Now, in the past, I have made this a day ahead and just cover it up, bring it out, let it sit out for maybe an hour, and pop it in the oven. Okay, there we go. Ready to go into the oven. 350-degree oven, 30 to 45 minutes. Kind of a handy thing you can put in while your turkey is resting after you pull it out. It's been about 45 minutes. I think the stuffing is ready to roll. Let's give it a look. Oh, look how pretty, pretty, pretty that is. Oh my goodness. See, like I said, I don't know why I don't make this multiple times a year. I think maybe because it feels like an indulgence and I can be bad and eat it at Thanksgiving. Look at that. Is that not gorgeous? Gorgeous, gorgeous. So let's pop it up here because it is piping hot. Ooh. And we'll let it sit for a few minutes and then we'll give it a taste. Okay, this has been cooling for maybe 10 minutes. And I know I shouldn't mess up the presentation, but I want to taste it. We'll take a little thing from the side and no one will even know. Not too hot anymore. It's still hot. I don't want to burn my counter. Ooh. Look at that. It's all tasty and toasty. Look, it's steaming. Not so good. Since I only do this once a year, it just reminds me of Thanksgiving. The Grand Marnier really comes through. So good. Hot. This is a keeper. Give this one a try. The recipe's on the website. It's easy breezy.